Howdy howdy, my name is John, and this video is my May 2021 wrap-up. Book I finished in May was Unicorn Point by Piers. This is the 6th book in the Apprentice Adept series. I've done a review on this book, so I won't go into too much detail here, but I did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 stars. This book has a different point of view for each chapter, and there's 18 chapters in this. I actually enjoyed the storytelling in this. There's really only one place where the story kind of backs up and sees a previously told story from a different point of view. Otherwise, it goes from point to point. There are some issues I had with the book that kind of detail more in my review. I've really enjoyed my reread of the Apprentice Adept series. The final book is phased out, and I will read it in June. The next book I finished was Kennedy by Theodore Sorensen. I actually started this at the beginning of May, and I got about halfway, and then I decided I needed a break. So I picked up Unicorn Point, and after I finished Unicorn Point, I picked Kennedy back up and finished that book. Now, I read Kennedy because one of my booktube friends, Carrie from Very Literary Carrie, last November took it upon herself to get other booktubers to read books about Kennedy. I found the book in a thrift stop shortly after she asked me to read a book about Kennedy. Now, I've given the book to my brother to read, and that's why I don't have my copy here with me. I did enjoy the book. Theodore Sorensen was a longtime employee of Kennedy, starting when Kennedy was a senator. The book is definitely biased. For example, Sorensen paints Kennedy as the perfect 50s era father figure. No mention of Marilyn Monroe in this book. This book really focuses on Kennedy's presidency. It spends a very short amount of time with Kennedy's childhood, his Navy career, and then his career as both a congressman and a senator. It does focus a little bit more on his potential vice president candidacy in '56, and then his ultimate nomination for the presidency and campaign in 1960. Once Kennedy becomes president, Sorensen really handles things in a topical fashion. The only real problem I had with the way he treated it is he does save the Cuban Missile Crisis for toward the end of the book, and so there are many instances in the book where he'll reference the Cuban Missile Crisis, but like I said, he doesn't really discuss it until the end of the book. So overall, I enjoyed it. I did give it 4 stars. I did take away a star because, here again, the bias is kind of obvious. And there are definitely some things in this book that, I would really want to fact check before I took them at face value. So if you're interested in the policies that shaped Kennedy's presidency, this is an excellent resource. The next book I finished was Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel, García, Márquez. One of my favorite movies is Serendipity, and a copy of this book features prominently in that movie. And several months ago, Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats was in a group read of another novel of Márquez's titled 100 Years of Solitude. And while Summer was talking about that book, I kind of realized that as many times as I've seen Serendipity, I've never actually read this novel. So I got a copy of the book, and this is the same edition as the book used in the movie. There are no phone numbers in it. I did check for that. And overall, I really enjoyed this novel. It's definitely different from what I normally read. This book follows 3 main characters, and it is set along the Caribbean coast at the turn of the 20th century. The 3 main characters are a physician, his wife, and then a man that the wife rejected when she was a teenager. I think your enjoyment of this book is going to be largely determined by how well you enjoy Márquez's writing style. It's very lyrical. There's not really much of a plot to the book. The plot, and what plot there is, really meanders around. You're following the viewpoint of all three of these main characters. You actually start kind of toward the end of the story if it were told chronologically. There were parts of this novel that I really enjoyed. There were parts of the novel that I didn't enjoy as much. I found them kind of boring. The ending of this novel really ends kind of in a satisfactory way. I'll put it that way. So I gave the book 4 stars, and if you're looking something, kind of different to read, this is a good book to pick up. If you've seen my book buying, book shopping tags, you know that I finally went back to the library after a long hiatus away. The reason I went to the library is because I went to visit my brother, so I had a long road trip, and I wanted to get an audiobook to listen to as I was driving. The book I'd hoped to get was Ready Player One. I watched the movie last year, and I was really looking forward to reading the novel. They did not have Ready Player One, however, they did have The Maze Runner and its sequel, The Scorch Trials. These are both by James Dascher. I have seen both of these movies. I really enjoyed the first movie. I didn't care for the second movie quite as much. This is actually my first experience with audiobooks, at least since I was a small child. I did enjoy listening to the audiobooks. I still prefer a physical copy reading, but these, because I was, familiar with the story, these were excellent choices for my road trip. I gave The Maze Runner 4 stars. I could definitely tell this is a young adult novel, and I was kind of annoyed with the boys in this story. But, overall, it's a good story. I gave The Scorch Trial 3 stars. There's a lot of plot points in this that I was really kind of going, is this really what would have happened? It's just a lot of kind of strange choices that were made in this novel. So I wound up giving this one 3 stars. The last book I finished was Shadow Games. This is the 5th book in the Black Company series by Glen Cook. And by 5th book, that's the reading order that is established. This is part of a read-along with Mark from Slowly Read. And we read Shadow Games as the 5th novel. The book that I'm holding is a bind-up of books 4 through 6 in the series. I really enjoyed the ending of Shadows Linger, but getting to the ending was a bit of a slog. There are some good parts in the first, 150 pages, but for the most part, it's really slow paced, and there were several instances in that first 150 pages where I had to kind of stop and go, wait a minute, what just happened? So I would have to go back a few pages and kind of read again just to kind of get a picture of what exactly had gone on. So I did enjoy this book more than I did the 3rd book in the series, The White Rose, but it's the 4th of the 5 books that I've read. It's my 4th favorite so far. I am in the middle of 2 books. The first book is Brothers in Arms by Margaret Weis and Don Perrin. This is the 2nd book in the Dragonlance Raistlin Chronicles duology. This is a buddy read with a real-life friend of mine, and we're reading a chapter a day, and we're about 2/3 of the way through the book, and I am enjoying this book. If I were to rate it on what I've read thus far, it's about a 4-star novel. The book covers Raistlin and Caramon and Kitiara in the years prior to the start of the events in the Dragonlance Chronicles trilogy. There's going to be a read-along of the Dragonlance Chronicles trilogy. There was an announcement video by Noah at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse, and I'll link the announcement video in the description below. I'm not planning on rereading the novels because it's only been about a year and a half since I read the Chronicles, but I do hope to kind of participate in the conversation. The last book I'm in the middle of is The Divine Comedy. This is a read along with Tom L.A. Books. He's doing a video per canto, and we actually finished Inferno in May, and he just posted a video for the third canto of Purgatory, and so I haven't watched the third video yet. I've watched the first two, but I'm really looking forward to getting into Purgatory and then Paradise, and because everybody talks about Inferno, and that's the better known of the three. But I'm really interested to see what the other two have to offer. Fortunately, Tom is doing a really great job. He's reading a lot of different commentaries, and he's doing about a 20 to 30 minute video, and he really is helping me to understand what's going on in each of these cantos. Lastly, if you're new to my channel, at the end of my wrap-ups, I like to show off the flowers that are blooming. All of these flowers were planted by my mother, and when she became no longer able to take care of them, kind of fell on me to take care of them. And I really enjoyed the flowers as they bloom each month. So I've got several pictures of those to show you. Overall, I'm pleased with the books that I read this month. I hope you've had a good reading month as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.